friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla, and if you're not new, thanks for coming back. Always happy to have you. If you are new here, I like to do a lot of book and lifestyle content here on my channel, a lot of reading content, writing content, all of that good stuff. So if any of those things interest you, make sure you think about hitting that subscribe button and think about sticking around. Today is a video long in the making, and honestly one I'm a little bit embarrassed to read, and that is my most recent book haul. I'm not gonna say I went out and bought all of these books in one time because that would be ridiculous. However, over the past couple of months, I have, well, particularly the past month, I've accumulated a lot of books. I've done a lot of book shopping. We're taking a break. We're taking it easy. We cannot continue upon this path. I bought a lot of books, and there are a couple reasons that we're gonna chat about here, okay? First, I have been influenced. I have fully been influenced by the book talk, the booktubers, the bookstagrammers, all of which I associate myself with. And, you know, it's to be expected. I've also been influenced by my friends. I have some bookish friends I've been meeting up with and going book shopping with and meeting at different bookish areas. I have gone on adventures in places where I know there are bookstores that I love. I just did not set myself up for success in this regard. Also, I've been unemployed. If you're new here or you haven't seen any of my other videos, I have been vlogging my unemployment experience. It's almost over. I start my new job in like 3 days, but I spent probably about a month and a half with not much to do and access to an Amazon account, as well as being in Boston, proximity to quite a few bookstores. So these were a little bit equal parts I'm gonna read a ton because I'm unemployed, and equal parts I am not doing well mentally and I need comfort items, so I'm going to hoard them around me, which is not a healthy coping mechanism. I'm aware, I get it, I know. It was a dark time, we're in a better time, but I figured I'd show you what I got. There are a lot of these, a lot of them, and I need some motivation to read them, so I need to get excited about and talk about them. These are in no particular order. I can't even show you the stack that I have because it is a disgusting amount of books. I'm ashamed. Shame me in the comments, so I stopped doing this. Mother, if you are watching this video, maybe just skip to the next one. Like, just, you don't need to see this one, honestly. I'm still your daughter, okay? Before you get angry, I'm still your daughter. I don't even know where to begin or where to start. These are all over the place. I realize it's been a really long time since I've done this as well. I kept telling myself, like, you've done a book haul recently. The last time I did one was June last year, so it's now March time. We're just gonna dive on in. These are honestly all probably from December onward, so oh my god, that makes it worse. It's been like 3 months and I bought all these books. It's fine, we're not gonna freak out about it. Let's start with the one that I'm currently reading, which is at the top of the stack, and that is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. I originally got this book because I'm doing a series on my channel of books to read, book recommendations based on your favorite Disney characters. I thought this was Snow White. This is actually not Snow White. This is a retelling of The Secret Garden, and also has some Greek mythology references as well, but this is a retelling about this girl named Bree who has this magical power where she can help plants bloom and grow really fast. She's adopted. She finds out that her birth mother's sister, her aunt, from her birth mother, has left her a house in upstate New York, which is on like 40 acres of beautiful land where Bree can go and play with her powers. When she gets there, she finds an apothecary, and she finds that she's been helping these townspeople, or her family's been helping the townspeople with their ailments through medicinal herbs and things like that for generations. So Bree has to take on this onus as well, being related to this family. There is also a curse, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm about 150 pages in. So far, really enjoying it. I forgot about these next two. Tends to happen when you buy books as often as I do, but we have Lark by Alex Astor. This is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. This is a YA fantasy or new adult fantasy that is supposed to have some sort of like magical contest competition vibe to it. It gives me like Night Circus and Hunger Games vibes, like magic but every 100 years. This island appears kind of like the circus does. I don't know, that's the vibe I get from this. I've heard good things, however I am just like now looking at this, and it's only 400 pages, but I'm like, this looks like a dance. 400 pages, but I love this cover. I think this is very beautiful. It will be read eventually, when I could not tell you. This series, I I am silly for purchasing this book specifically because I saw this in Barnes & Noble and I said, you know, you already have a copy of this book, and I said add to cart anyway, and that is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This series has a very special place in my heart. It is an older series. It came out, I think, when I was in middle school, which is like 10 years ago. It maybe came out before that because they were in paperback when I had them in middle school. But this is a fantasy Shakespeare retelling series. It's like loosely based on A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I really loved this series when I was a kid. I remember flying through them, and I actually never finished the series because they kept getting published and I lost interest. But I bought this book to reread it. I also love this new cover. They are like a gorgeous, like, oh, I don't know, it does it for me. There are 4 in total, but I actually just sold the original copy I had on Pango, and this is what the original covers look like. So they got definitely a bit of an upgrade. What I tend to do once I read a book or I'm done with it, and I know I'm not going to keep it, I do tend to put it on my Pango to sell. So I will always have my Pango in the description box down below if you want to take a look at any of the books that I'm selling. Honestly, I sell them for pretty cheap because I'm more looking to just get them out of the way and to not have to move them all. Next one is 3, but I'm going to count it as 1 because this is my channel. I do what I want. And that is The Clockwork Angel. Oh, Kayla, you done frigged up, man. All right, bastards. All right, these books, this came in a box set from Amazon. I tend to try and not buy books on Amazon unless I like need them immediately for some reason. However, this was a deal I simply could not pass up. This box set of the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare was $20 for 3 books, and I said, Miss Girl, you cannot say no. So I did not say no, and I did buy them. I used to love the Clockwork Angel series. However, I got really sick of the Mortal Instruments, and I thought you had, like, to read one, you had to read the other. Instead of just giving up the Mortal Instruments, I gave up both, but I always really, really liked the Clockwork Angel Infernal Devices series. So I'm on a kick lately of rereading the books that I was obsessed with when I was younger that made me love reading. We're just taking a nostalgic trip down memory lane and going back to something familiar. The series was one that I never actually finished, and I really, really wanted to. And the box set was $20. I don't know what to tell you. But this follows Tessa Gray, our main character, and her time at the London Institute of Shadowhunters. It's all part of the Shadowhunters realm. They are demon hunting around London. They're dealing with this like kind of magical club and this person called the Magister, that's his name, who is like just trying to become this all-powerful being, using humans to do so. And we follow Tessa as she's also looking for her brother, who's moved to London and apparently vanished, gone missing, whatever is unaccounted for. So I started this book and I am about 130 pages into it, going to finish it, because this does feel like a hug from an old friend. It feels like a very nostalgic, like cheesy YA that I was very into in 2015, 2016. We're going back to it, baby. This one I count less than the others. I bought for research purposes for my current writing project, my current work in progress. You can watch my writing vlogs to hear more about it, but it is loosely inspired by Hamlet, and I was feeling in my writing process like I needed a little bit more access to my reference text, so I picked up a copy of Hamlet at the Strand while I was in New York recently. And to be fair, I only paid $2.95. This book I bought simply because it looked beautiful, and that is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This book is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It is about a professor in Cambridge who is trying to compile this encyclopedia, this overarching view of mythology and folklore and fantasy, and she gets kind of wrapped up in this fantasy mystery. From what I understand, this is an adult fantasy, at least that's where it was categorized in my local bookstore, and I'm very excited to read this. This is giving me all like the spring cottagecore vibes. This will be on my spring TBR. I am planning to keep doing monthly TBRs, but I will also talk about books that feel like spring to me. This is again another writing book that I am going to read, and it should be pretty quick, but I'm excited about, and it's called Steering the Craft, a 21st Century Guide to Sailing the Sea of Story by Ursula K. Le Guin. It's a very short writing book. It's for people that want to be writers, that want to work on their craft and do exercises and kind of learn the theory of being a good writer. Ursula K. Le Guin was one of the most famous modern female fantasy writers of all time. She recently passed away. Short book, picked it up in New York, very excited. I don't have any plans to read this anytime soon, but this might be something I just pick up when I'm feeling like working on my book and just need a little bit of a brain break from the actual creating side of writing. Next, this was an impulse buy like nobody's business. Like literally I'm checking out, I'm in line at the register, and you happen to have a table of books nearby, and I see this and I add to the stack. And that is 100 Poems to Break Your Heart by Edward Hirsch. To be honest, I don't quite know what it's about. I do think they are about poems that are supposed to like feature love and heartbreak, but it's basically more of a literary text or analysis of them, which I don't know why I've been in the mood for. I've very much been in the mood for classical, more analytical literary analysis, like English class books, hence the Shakespeare, some other classics we have in this pile, and the past two books I've talked about. But this author picked out 100 poems that feature heartbreak and love and kind of actually delves into them and analyzes them to show the true raw emotion that comes out in these poems. I don't think I would sit down and read this all at once, but I think it might be something that I pick up every once in a while. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about this book. My friend Jess and I got this, well, she got it first and then I got it later because she influenced me. This is a murder mystery book that features characters from Jane Austen novels. So excited. It is called The Murder of Mr Wickham by Claudia Gray. I have been on a big Austen kick as well, so finding a book that features these characters and it feels like a more Clue-esque mystery, like a whodunit kind of situation. They're at a dinner party, house party with all these characters from Jane Austen novels, and Mr. Wickham is not invited but turns up murdered, and they're all trying to figure out who it is. And I just think that's really funny. Like, this is gonna be like a cute, cozy mystery. This actually feels perfect to read on a like rainy April day. It's a rainy March day right now, but I could definitely go for reading it right now as well. Another one, don't know why I got it, was impulsive again. I have Macbeth by Shakespeare. Macbeth is one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, so I've been wanting to reread it and I don't know where my copy is, so I bought another one because they're fast reads. Along the lines of This Poison Heart, which was the first book I talked about in this video, I did pick up a copy of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I've never read The Secret Garden. I used to watch the movie a lot when I was a kid. I remember it a little bit creeping me out. But I found this edition, and this is so cute. This is like raised, embossed almost, like it's embroidered. And again, I feel like this is a good spring vibe read, gardens, flowers, all that stuff. So it's on my list for spring. I got this book on my birthday. I've read one book by this author and I remember really enjoying it. So I picked up another one because this felt like spooky, creepy winter vibes. Unfortunately, I did not read it in wintertime, but that's okay. We have Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. Don't know much about this. Looks a little bit spooky, looks a little bit creepy, kind of dark magic situation. Mostly the cover sold me, but this I got and I need to read soon. This is The Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I finished The Red Queen. That was the first book I read in 2023 and I finished. This is the sequel. This is book 2. I need to read it so I keep the plot alive in my brain and I don't forget it. I tend to do that with series where I read the first one or I read the first 2 and I never finish the series and I don't remember it and I have to go back and start over. This one I currently have mixed feelings about, but I didn't when I bought it. I got this from my bookstore at home where I used to work, and it was on their TikTok recommends page, or their table of TikTok famous books. I've never once seen this book on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever. I saw it once on Instagram. I didn't really like what I saw. And that is by Piper CJ, The Night and Its Moon. I've heard this author is problematic. For why, I can't remember. But I don't really know. I've heard it's like fae fantasy new adult situation. It's kind of thick. It's kind of big. Not sure about it. This could honestly be one that just goes right to Pango without me reading it. I don't feel an overwhelming urge to read it. I think this was a situation of I got influenced by TikTok, or by the word TikTok. These two I got, and I'm not gonna feel bad because I didn't pay for them. They are ARCs that I stole from the bookstore, and they are in anticipation of the new Little Mermaid movie that comes out in May that I'm so freaking excited for. And that is first the Part of Your World Twisted Tale graphic novel. I did a whole review of Part of Your World on my channel when it came out. I don't actually own Part of Your World. This graphic novel looks fun, and I am excited to read this, revisit that story in a visual format. I also think this would be so much fun to teach. A classic story, a classic fairy tale version, the Hans Christian Andersen version, the Disney version, and then a further twisted tale, I think would be so fun. And this is a graphic novel format, y'all. This one, I don't know what it is, to be honest. I know that they're doing a lot of publicity for Little Mermaid through Disney books. Like I read, or I started The Prince of Song and Sea by Lindsay Miller, which is part of their new Princes series that is based off of Eric from Little Mermaid. This one though, I don't know what it's about. It says The Little Mermaid, Against the Tide, 7 seas, 5 days, 1 mermaid, who can change the tide. That's all I got. It says nothing else about what's going on here, but I'm gonna give it a shot. The font is big. Remember when we talked about the Clockwork Angel and the Infernal Devices, and I said I've been looking to reread books that I was obsessed with as a child? This one, I'm simply foolish, truly foolish. I repurchased, even though I didn't like this series as a kid. I don't know why, I'm just feeling like I want to reread it again. I have an urge, I don't know why. And that is The Selection by Kiera Cass. I've read many a Kiera Cass novel. I have never thoroughly enjoyed one. I don't know why this is enticing to me right now. I did discover while I was at my parents' house, I apparently have this book on my iPad. I did not know. You could have fooled me. I think this one was also gonna go right to Pango because I have it on my iPad, and this is foolish. So I'm actually gonna make a Pango pile right now. This one I got, again, really craving some literary thinking, I don't know, some analysis brainwaves, and just to wanting to read classics. Guys, I don't know what's wrong with my reading palette right now, but I did get this collection of poetry by Emily Dickinson. This is just really sweet. This is one of the word cloud classics, which is always really hard for me to say. It's a word cloud classic. They are a colored leather, and they are embossed with like different features. So this actually has a poem in kind of a maze font. I didn't want to get a word cloud classic. I did buy them a lot a few years ago, and honestly they're just respectfully too much color for me. But the reason I really bought this one is that they were numbered. A lot of the editions I found, the poems aren't numbered, and Emily Dickinson often didn't title her books, but they were published in their completeness by number, and they're known by their first line. So I remember when I was teaching, I would teach the kids the title, which is the first line of the poem, and the number that they were published in. So that is preserved here in this edition, where they are also numbered. It's really devious. I know I have it. No, I don't. I let a friend borrow it and I never got it back. But I've been wanting to reread it and restart that series. I'm probably gonna wait until I move though, so I have all of them. But I've kind of been wanting to do like a guided reread here on this channel. This one is really random, but I'll be excited, and that is the Dante Club by Matthew Pearl. I got this at Trident. This is kind of like a it's not my usual read. I don't know why I was intrigued by it, but I am. It takes place in Boston 1865. There is a serial killer running amok, killing all these people, but the serial murders are all reminiscents of scenes from Dante's Inferno. The first Dante scholars in America, which include, I always forget this list, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Oliver Wendell Holmes, James Russell Lowell, and J.T. Fields, help the Boston police try and solve this mystery and stop this serial murderer. I just think it's again kind of that like literary analysis. We have these literary scholars and characters. We have Dante's Inferno. It's just felt the vibe I've been in lately. And then I have some Peter Pan smut. You know, it's a diverse palette, guys. This is Hooked, a Never After novel by Emily McIntyre. To be fair, this is also for the series of books, or the series of videos I'm making of books to read inspired by your favorite Disney character. We got Peter Pan and Captain Hook right here. I don't know. Judge me not too harshly. I've heard that this is pretty good. I have The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. This was on my February TBR. I started it, didn't finish it, but I did really enjoy what I started. I think I got like 50 pages in. It's just a little bit of a dense writing style. Like it takes me a long time to kind of puzzle out what she's saying. It's very lyrical, very purple prose. So it's not as action plot motivated as most of the things that I read, which is fine. It's just an adjustment. It takes me a little bit longer to read, which is I think where I got a bit discouraged in this read. But I like the concept a lot. It's about this girl named January Scholar, whose father is tasked with bringing like artifacts and historical items and objects to this collector. While she's joining him on his travels, she finds these doors that lead to different worlds and kind of goes off to explore them from there. This one, don't really know why, but it does feel like a good dreary kind of rainy spring read, so I'll go with that. This is The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. This follows our character Ropa, who dropped out of school to become a ghost stalker. She now speaks to Edinburgh's dead, carrying messages to those they left behind. A girl's gotta earn a living, and it seems harmless enough. That is until the dead begin to whisper that someone's bewitching children, leaving them husks empty of joy and life. It's in Ropa's city, so she feels honor-bound to investigate, but what she learns will change her world. I'm curious. This actually might be my book club pick. If you're in my book club, you didn't hear that. I love Edinburgh. I love Scotland. I just think that this is a good spring kind of mopey vibe. It is a series though, which is like the only thing that's holding me back. But let me go get my last two books and we'll talk about them in tandem. I have mentioned that I have been wanting to read some more elevated, scholarly, analytical, classic pieces this month, so I did purchase two of them to help in that endeavor. I did, however, buy two that I know I don't have. Actually, one I am selling on my Pango, but it's just a Penguin Classics edition. But when I knew I wanted to go out for a specific day to buy classics, that I wanted to get prettier versions that I could read but could also make really beautiful library pieces, which is exactly what I did. I have Persuasion by my girl Jane Austen. I have a couple of other Jane Austen books that I actually got in Bath, where Jane Austen was born. So I didn't get Pride and Prejudice or Emma, but I did get Persuasion because I don't have that one yet. And then I got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. These are, I'm trying to tell like what edition they are, but it's not super clear to me. They're Penguin Classics like cloth bound editions. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but they are very beautiful. They're these muted cloth fabric hardcovers. I just love these little designs. They're so gorgeous. They're beautiful to photograph. Those are two that I got. I've lost count. Have you been counting? Because I haven't been counting, but we bought a lot of books recently. Some of them will be on my Pango. I have a lot of reading to do. I am not buying any more books until I move in June. After June, once I get all of these out of here, read, sold, what have you, I will go ahead and buy more. I literally cannot buy any more because I don't have anywhere to put them. Like this is one of those cube shelves from Target that's probably like 4 feet tall, 4.5 feet tall, and my stack of books that I just talked to you about feels like half of it from the floor. So these are also hopeful. Fine. There are worse things I could be buying. If you made it to the end of this video, props to you. Be impressed with yourselves. That is all that I have for you guys today. Clearly I have purchased a lot of books. Like I said, we are literally not buying anymore, so it'll be a very long time until you have another video like this. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found something that you might be interested in reading or buying. If you have any thoughts on anything that I purchased, let me know in the comments down below. What's the most recent book that you've read? I would love to hear. If there's any books that I should buy, let me know in the comments down below, but like, don't tell me too many because I'll buy them. That's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Happy reading, and I'll see you soon.